Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dietitian Life, where we tell you about our weeks, some of the stuff we've learned, some of the value we've provided practitioners or other staff members, and then pose a question to you. And Peta is going to try first to tell us about her week.
The week that has been.
Even though you don't know that we've had to cut this 3 times because you keep stuffing up.
It's really hard. Geography is hard.
Oh. You're going to stuff it up again? Here we go.
No. So I've had a good week. So far I have done a lot of driving. So I drove about 5 hours to go and visit one of our practitioners. It was really good. I caught up with her. I haven't seen her for a couple of, probably three or 4 months. Been travelling.
She's been travelling.
Not me. So that was good. Did a bit of shadowing, gave a bit of feedback in terms of what they're doing. So sometimes, particularly practitioners that are out on their own, it can be a little bit challenging to, stay on point, stay motivated, and you kind of get involved in looking after your clients and just doing the day-to-day stuff. So having someone else to come in and talk to you about maybe ways to improve efficiency, try and build the service a little bit as well. I guess there's some of the things that we talked about. But anyway, that was really good. So definitely going to go back and
So any particulars?
And see them. Or like what?
If you gave them recommendations, what were they?
Being a little bit more directive and trying to guide the consults a little bit towards actionable outcomes. So I guess when we turn up, when we see clients sometimes, it can be quite general. Sometimes it's important when you get to the end of the consult is to evaluate. Tyson talks a lot about it, putting bows around things and going, there you go, that's what you're going to do. So definitely that is really, really important. Otherwise, sometimes you talk about the social life and you kind of deviate a little bit. So it's just trying to hone in the main points of that consultation to make sure that you know next time exactly what they're going to be working on. The other is challenging, personalities. So sometimes that can be an issue or difficult to work with, and also challenging situations. So if there's distractions.
Difficult.
Yeah, so if there's distractions, whether it be physical distractions, phones going off or the above, they can, obviously influence the direction of the consult. And how can you deal with that? And particularly if you've been seeing a client for a long time, maybe you've got into a really good swing of things, maybe you're just being their friend versus their practitioner. So trying to sort of find that fine line between getting them to get results as well as not, wanting to upset the relationship. So I suppose me just providing a little bit of insight about how they could manage those things a little bit.
What's an insight?
Okay, so specific things might be
not necessarily about them, but just in general.
Yeah, so if they're the sort of person that is not inclined to do what you say or listen to what you recommend, and they might then take it off on their own tangent or list off a lot of excuses or reasons as to why they haven't achieved X, Y, and Z. Maybe trying to give them small challenges that you can particularly then work on the next time that you see them, versus just kind of cruising with it and going, oh, that's okay, So maybe trying to give them strategies as to how they could have fixed or managed some of their life situations better next time. For a lot of, sometimes you kind of just roll over bumps in the road and don't give them strategies to deal with those. So I guess there's some of the things that I spoke about, because we're supposed to be there and help them with those things. Because obviously as dietitians, we can manage those situations sometimes better than clients can, particularly when it comes to navigating their diet. So instead of writing them off, I try to encourage prospective practitioners to give them, to delve into what happened that week. Versus just letting it slide and rolling it off as a bad week. So that is one particular insight.
How's your clinic?
Clinic was, shitballs, that was busy. Yeah, that was full. Probably the biggest day I've had since, I reckon, 14 clients. Actually since I've been up here, biggest day I've had. So that was chockers. It started off with a 7:45 a.m. appointment. And I didn't finish until after 6, so I didn't even get my run in. I was devastated. It was good though, really, really
complex
good.
clients.
Yeah, always complex. Lots of gut problems as per usual. A client that I've been seeing, getting really, really good results. What else? So lots of GP letters to write, which is always fun. So client-wise, really good. Had a meeting with a upper GI surgeon, gastrointestinal stuff. So had a meeting with her. She was really good. So trying to just boost referrals there. She just does a lot of fundos, lots of diverticular disease. Asked and talked to her about where she was referring clients out, whether she was using dietitians, and advocated for us as a point of first contact versus, if they were going to go and see a dietitian, here's what. So that was really good. So hopefully we see some flow on.
With your clinic, how do you go mentally dealing with some clients?
Yeah, some are challenging. Are you referring to the conversation I had to have with you after I finished my clinic? Yeah. I'm really
not particulars, obviously, but
no. I'm really good at it these days. It doesn't really bother me that much. It's more the frustrating cases that I can't particularly fix. Yeah. Or it's frustrating, kind of, butt your head up against the wall. It doesn't mentally bother me. I'm quite good at just shutting that off and going, yeah, cool, that was a good day.
Do you think it's important for dietitians to be able to shut them?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always things that you can think about. There's plenty of life stuff that we can always think about. So I try not to then add, my clients and their issues and their stuff on top of that. I guess that's a skill, maybe. I don't know whether that's something that everybody struggles with or, they're pretty good. Tyson and I are pretty good at compartmentalising stuff.
Using the word I used in Snapchat.
Yeah, I watch it. Sometimes better at some things than others. Sometimes some personal stuff, not so much, but definitely work stuff I'm easy to just coach. So, it's good to probably bounce off some of those concerns, issues to other people. I guess I feel really comfortable to talk to Tyson about stuff, and I know that we're probably at the same level, so that helps. So if you've got somebody that you can bounce ideas off or issues, problems, questions, then, have someone. It's really important. But yeah, generally I'm pretty good. I can just kind of go, fine. Yeah.
You don't reach out.
Yeah.
My week. So I was on the other side of the country doing shadowing, as you guys probably saw on Snap, in Perth, between Joondalup and Mandurah. So I've got a few practitioners over there, which is cool. It was an interesting trip, really. There's a lot of different factors that went in this time, in particular with practitioners, personal lives, and then some stuff around clients, but mostly personal stuff that obviously then can affect the work life. Peter's already mentioned my compartmentalising stuff, but not everyone can do that, and I think it is a skill, somewhat due to personality, I believe. Some people just aren't built like that, so can't do it, so you need to deal with it, talk about it, get it off their chest and go through. I can pretty much just shut it off and then not talk about it.
I think that's males though in general. A lot of males are much better at that than females. Yeah, totally going there.
Yeah. Hormones.
I don't think that, like a zero impact whatsoever. If any women are listening, just throw something at your device right now, because totally not a thing. Totally not a thing.
Well, it's as sexist as you saying that we all compartmentalise. But yeah, basically some practitioners are obviously better at handling different stresses than others and being able to get on with work and not have those things affect. But there's also levels of personal issues that can obviously affect what's going on. Basically, my trip was around having individual meetings with everyone, making sure everything's going sweet, finding ways to improve them as practitioners and give them feedback, as well as progression in their careers and that kind of stuff within the company. And then if outside of it, if that happens, but hopefully all within the company. Pretty much with shadowing, the key things, which Peter's already stolen some of my words already from my Snapchat that I did on this, is around.
That's because it's a common theme.
So yeah, it is a common theme that when you're seeing clients, that sometimes you get into a habit of just the building rapport thing, which is really, really important, but at the same time, you still need to give them an action. And even though you might give them like 3, 4, 5 different things as they're talking to you about, oh, you could try this, you try that, not wrapping it up at the end is going to let that client down, and your results will suffer as a result of that. So making sure that if you do say some really nice things, that at the end you reiterate those things, maybe write them down, or send them an email post about, this is what we are going to do moving forward until the next time I see you.
The other is keying on to expectations. So sometimes I found that people might say things in a certain way to try and kind of like lead you on, or give you a little ticket for you to maybe run away with. It might be something lines of, you'll be disappointed this week because I haven't lost weight, or something like that. And then the practitioner will go, oh, that's okay. That's
Yes.
all right, X, Y, and Z, versus going, so, like, why? What's happened? Why would I be disappointed? Are you disappointed? So, maybe, like I've already said, exploring some of those things instead of being that nice, warming practitioner that just wants to have a good relationship, and rapport is really important. Sometimes, our clients might be wanting us to take the lead and take charge and actually tell them that it's not okay.
Call them out on their shit.
Yeah.
Some of them do want to just see what they can get away with. And then if you let it go too long, then you're going to get walked over. And and that can be why people are stagnating in a certain plateauing at something. It's because you're not probably pushing hard enough, or you let them get away with things that are kind of consistent. Like, there are a couple of practitioners that said, like, oh, well, my clients are saying that, they'd lost 2 kilos, but over the last 2 days they had whatever, and that's why they haven't lost the weight, or they had a bottle, 2 bottles of wine last night.
Those excuses, those
speed
bumps.
Yeah. Just like, what person, when they're going to see a dietitian, then goes and has a binge on alcohol or food, and then goes and sees the dietitian
the day before? A lot, to be honest.
I know, but like, it's just but then there's the other ones where it's like, oh no, I haven't eaten all day because I knew I was going to get weighed. So it goes
hang on, I've got to take my glasses off, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Always.
But ultimately, being able to tie it up and build rapport through getting results. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, is that you're going to build far more rapport by getting that client their result than what you will from being their friend. Ultimately, you can definitely do both.
Absolutely.
But emphasizing the results over the other is usually important, and it will go peaks and troughs. Sometimes you just hang with their personality while they're going through a rough patch possibly, and then you hammer them to get them results. They get happy again. You do the similar things, and weight loss and weight gain isn't linear, but being able to push them when they need to be pushed is really important.
I think that's how you can have that disconnect, that you do care, but you also need to stand out as a bystander and not be emotionally invested in that, to be able to then have a clear view and to be able to give them those clear strategies that you need. So, yes, be invested in their health and their results, but it's important for you to stay semi-disconnected. Otherwise, the relationship, it's not going to be good, and it's not going to then, it could be better because then you've got more of a clear view to be able to tell them what they need to do moving forward. So, that's key, super important.
Other stuff.
How many fires did we have this week?
It was an overwhelming bushfire.
I think we've got shares in the bushfire brigade's water supply.
So a couple of big fires, one raging one, but I think...
Been quietly burning for a while.
Yeah, quietly burning for a little bit that I wasn't aware of. It's just slipped through the cracks.
Same as me. It all happens to the best of us.
So anyway, we're talking a bit in riddles, but just dealing with issues, and I said it in Snap, is around people feeling comfortable talking to their manager or a peer but most likely your manager about it, issues, because they
What
can
do you
often
do if
deal
your
with it.
manager's shit? Tell them to...
Tell them to fuck off. That's what I said in Snap. And I believe it, and I wholeheartedly believe it, but I shouldn't have done that.
I should have done it.
You should have done that?
Yeah.
To me?
Yeah.
What?
And to others sometimes.
You can say that to me?
I have said to you.
Yeah, jokingly.
Yeah,
I hope. No, so basically, and in telling me the issues, then, or your manager, they're more likely well equipped or more equipped to deal with it than you are, and might deal with it very quickly. You know, if you're holding on to something for several months or several weeks or several days, then that's going to be doing much more harm to you than if you just grew some balls and just said it. And it's really difficult. And yeah, if you really did screw up badly, it may lead to you losing your job. But ultimately, like, yeah, it's so difficult because it's all on an individual level. But like one of the issues that came up, I was able to pretty much come up with this strategy within 5 minutes of talking to them about it, and then had some more time overnight looking through stuff to make sure that I was right, and then had a plan of attack by the next morning ready to go. So those several months of like harboring stress,
which is likely going to affect your practice.
Yeah, hugely, and it'll demotivate you and make everything difficult. And I'd see these people quite often face to face, as well as talk weekly. So like it's not like there was not enough opportunities, and I feel like we got a pretty open discourse. But obviously this one was a bit hard for them to talk about. But yeah, I don't know. I came up with a strategy within a day. Like, if you're worrying about something right now, like go tell your manager, because ultimately, it's going to affect the relationship far more if you just, in the long term, if you just harbour it in the short term. So just tell them. Tell them to fuck off if they treat you like shit after. Unless you did something really, really bad and you did it on purpose, then you probably deserve it.
So how do you manage, so say for example, if someone with a company was to come to you and they go, here Tyson, please have all my problems.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that to be able to have the same sort of thing as we've talked about, the disconnect between, I care about you too, I'm your boss, I'm the manager, I look after the greater company. How do you separate that? I mean, they tell you their problems, what happens, you kind of go, yeah, great, there's a pocket, I'll stick it there, I feel bad for you and we'll deal with it, move on. How do you manage that personally?
Well, how do I manage their problems?
Yeah.
How do I not take them on myself? Or some of them I do take on because they're probably affecting the company at large rather than just the practitioner themselves. But with that practitioner, it really depends if it's a personal or it's a work issue. If it's a work issue, it's a lot easier because then it's just like, all right, is this a me managing you problem that I haven't given you enough, advice or structure or framework for you to actually achieve this? Or is it you just looking for me to solve your problems all the time? So if that is the case, then I might help you initially. But if I've told you previously, I'm probably going to tell you to no, go do it. Or I've already told you the answer, please just try what I said. If you haven't, and then you go at me again, it's just like, well, I can't really help you more than what I have. But if you tried it, it failed, then we talk through something else. But ultimately, from management's perspective, you want to be able to teach people how to deal with things for themselves. Obviously, early on when you're a new grad, there's a lot more issues that you feel like you can't deal with. And we help as much as we can. But then it gets to a point where, you can do this. And we usually know if a practitioner can deal with different issues themselves just through, experience and how they're communicating and what the actual thing is that they're coming at us with. But, I had a practitioner that was contacting me several, 5, 6+ times a day, every day for the first few weeks when they started. But then I set them a challenge to not contact me for a week because I believed that they could solve pretty much all the issues that they kept asking me.
And what happened?
didn't hear from them and they nailed it. And now, it's a couple of times a week, if that I would, like, we've got a weekly update, so they'll get to us then. But other than that, there's not a lot of additional things. So they've been able to see that they can actually do it. And I guess that's a hard thing as a manager if you are managing staff, when you push them, while still having a safety net, so that if they do fail, if there is something urgent, that they can contact you. Yeah, I think that's it. Cool. Other than that, just standard email shit. Question: how do you deal with clients' problems? Do you take them on, or do you have a strategy that you use to kind of compartmentalize things?
Not alcohol.
Alcohol and exercise, they're easy answers. If anyone's got some cool strategies, comment. Really appreciate it. And if you had value, please give us feedback. We'd love to get better at this as we go along. So yeah, till next time.
Be you.